Back in the 1970s farm boom, folks across the Midwest still remember a few things clearly. The smell of straw, the first cold start at dawn, and the tractors that carried an entire farm through planting and harvest. Today, we're counting down the 10 most popular tractors of that era. These are the kind of models you hear once, and the memories come right back. So stay with me, because the number one tractor is a true legend, the kind many farms once dreamed of owning. Number 10. The White 2-105. If you ever drove past a tall cornfield in the Midwest and caught a flash of silver in the sun, there's a good chance you were looking at a White. Back in the farm boom years, when every good day of weather mattered, families needed a row crop tractor that could show up every morning and keep moving without drama. The White 2-105 earned its place by being practical and steady. It was the kind of tractor that didn't ask for attention. It simply did the work, pulling tillage tools, working ground, running equipment, and handling the long list of chores that come with a mid-size or larger farm. In a busy season, you don't need fancy. You need reliable. You need a tractor that saves time by starting well, working hard, and staying predictable. That's why so many folks remember it as a true helper, not a showpiece. And it had a look that stood out, too. Compact and modern for its day. Clean lines, silver paint, a presence that felt a little newer than a lot of older machines still working the same fields. That's what makes it easy to picture, even now. But the next tractor on our countdown is even more familiar to many Midwest families, a name tied to loyal fans and strong pride. And trust me, number 9 is a line that plenty of folks in Wisconsin still talk about, with real respect. Number 9. The Allis Chalmers 7060. For many Midwest farm families, Allis wasn't just a tractor brand. It was a family habit, the kind of machine you grew up seeing by the shed, season after season. And in places like Wisconsin, that orange paint often meant pride, not just equipment. The 7060 showed up right when farms needed more power and more durability. During the farm boom, when acres were expanding and the calendar felt tighter every year, the last thing you wanted was downtime. The 7060 earned its popularity by handling heavy work while still feeling straightforward to run. Simple controls, good visibility, and a steady pull that let you settle in for the day. It pulled hard in the field. It handled tough tillage and long days. And it fit right into the daily routine. Start it, set your pace, and let it do its share without constant fuss. That mattered when you were trying to beat the rain, finish a field before dark, or keep up with a short window. And it mattered when the season ran late, and you had to keep going anyway. What many people remember most is the solid feel. A tractor that seemed planted and built to last. The kind you still spot at local auctions. Still working, still earning its keep. And once a family got used to that Allis way of doing things, they often stayed loyal. But if you think strong and steady is the whole story, number 8 brings an even tougher Midwest reputation. A case that many folks describe as a tractor that just keeps working, no complaints. Number 8. The JI Case 1070. Case always fit the Midwest spirit. No extra show, just honest work. Back in the farm boom years, when crop prices were up and every hour mattered, a lot of families wanted a tractor they could trust. Something that would start, pull, and keep moving day after day. The Case 1070 became that kind of partner. You saw it on farms that needed steady power for long stretches. Not just a quick job and back to the shed. It was often put on heavy pulling, primary tillage, working ground, and the kind of tasks where durability matters more than bragging rights. When you're racing a weather front, or trying to finish a field before the next rain, you don't care about fancy talk. You care about a tractor that holds its pace and doesn't quit. And the 1070 built a reputation for exactly that. Many folks still remember the way a Case feels. A planted, solid ride, a steady pull, and that quiet confidence that comes from a machine that seems to settle in and do its job. It made sense to people who grew up fixing equipment, people who wanted simple strength and fewer surprises. The 1070 wasn't about being the loudest name at the coffee shop. It was about being the tractor that helped you get home on time and still be ready in the morning. But if you're a blue power person, The next tractor on our countdown is going to feel like a real step up, because number 7 is a Ford many farms chose when they wanted more strength, but still wanted practical value. Number 7, the Ford 7000. In the 1970s, a lot of Midwest farms were growing. More acres, bigger implements, longer days. And in those farm boom years, a stronger tractor wasn't just a purchase. It was a way to keep up. The Ford 7000 became a name people talked about because it made sense at the time. It was a practical upgrade. Enough muscle to handle heavier work, and still flexible for the mixed jobs that many farms rely on. Fieldwork, hauling, running equipment, and the steady chores that don't stop just because harvest is coming. The 7000 was the kind of tractor you bought to move faster through the season, to cover more ground when the weather gave you a narrow window, to feel like you were staying ahead instead of always catching up. And that feeling mattered in the Midwest, where one storm can change your whole week. What many folks remember is how approachable it felt. It wasn't a tractor that tried to intimidate you. It was a tractor that invited you to use it day after day. And even now, when you see one today, it still feels like the 1970s. The blue paint, the stance, the look of a working machine built for real farms. But before we reach the top 5, we have to stop and talk about an even more common Ford. A true farm staple. A lot of families treated it like the one tractor that could do almost everything. And trust me, number 6 is that machine. Number 6, the Ford 5000. If you ask a Midwest farmer to name the tractor that could do a little of everything in the 1970s, the Ford 5000 usually comes up fast. You saw it everywhere, on corn and soybean farms, on livestock places, and on family operations where one dependable tractor carried a big share of the workload. During the farm boom years, not every farm went straight to the biggest horsepower. A lot of folks needed something right-sized, tough, and easy to live with. And that's exactly why the 5000 was so popular. It was strong enough to pull the tools most farms owned, steady enough for daily chores, and simple enough that you could put different people on it, and they'd feel comfortable. It handled field work, hauling, running equipment, and the everyday jobs that keep a farm moving between planting and harvest. And it did all of that without asking for much attention. When time was tight and weather windows were short, that mattered. You wanted a tractor that started when you needed it, worked through the day, and didn't turn a small problem into a lost week. The Ford 5000 earned trust by being predictable, and that trust is what makes it feel so familiar. In so many memories, for a lot of families, it wasn't just a machine. It was part of the routine, almost like a family tool that everyone knew. And from here on, our countdown starts moving into the true icons, the tractors people still recognize by model number alone, because they changed what a successful farm looked like in the late 1970s. And trust me, number 5 is a Deere that, when you saw it in the field, you knew that farm was doing well. Number 5, the John Deere 4440. By the late 1970s, Deere tractors with a newer feel started to take on a special meaning across the Midwest. When you saw a 4440 on a farm, it often looked like a sign of progress. A farm that was modernizing. A farm that expected to work longer hours and cover more acres. Those were busy years. And comfort started to matter more, because comfort meant you could stay in the seat and keep going. The 4440 fit that moment. It had a cab that felt better for long days, and a steady, confident presence in the field. It matched the farm boom mindset. Do more work in the same window. Keep moving when the weather gives you a chance. And make every pass count. That's why the 4440 became so popular. It was tied to productivity, more pull, more stability, and the kind of operation that could handle a dense season without falling behind. Many families looked at it as a tractor you buy once and keep for the long haul, a machine that earns its place year after year. And for a lot of Midwest folks, the shape of the 4440 is instantly recognizable. That long hood, that stance, that look that says late 1970s row crop farming. It brings back memories of bigger implements, longer harvest days, and farms expanding one field at a time. But if the 4440 is a late 70s symbol of Deere progress, The next tractor on our countdown is a different kind of legend. Painted red, loud in reputation, and unforgettable to anyone who ever believed in red power. Because number 4 is an international harvester. Many people still talk about, with a smile and a little respect. Number 4, the International Harvester 1466. During the farm boom, International Harvester was a big choice across the Corn Belt, and the 1466 showed up as a clear answer to one main need: more power, for heavier work, while still keeping that familiar red identity people trusted. These were years when farms were pushing harder, bigger acres, bigger tools, and fewer days to get everything done. The 1466 fit that pressure. It was often put on the jobs that didn't forgive weakness, heavy pulling, primary tillage, and long runs where the tractor had to stay steady, from morning to evening. Many farmers believed Red IH was built for people who wanted muscle, and didn't mind putting a machine to work. And the 1466 carried that reputation well. It wasn't the kind of tractor you bought to look nice in the yard. It was the kind you bought to earn money in the field. And when you hear the stories today, you can still feel the respect in the way people talk about it. What stands out most is the strong, muscular feel. The sense that it was built to dig in and pull. The kind of tractor that made a heavy implement feel more manageable. And in busy seasons, that confidence mattered. Because confidence lets you keep going when the sun is dropping and you still have acres to finish. The 1466 is remembered as a serious working machine. But if you think the 1466 is the IH icon of the era, you're about to hear an even bigger name. Because number 3 is an IH model that gets mentioned even more in old farm stories. The kind of tractor that brings an entire farm boom chapter back, the moment you say the number out loud. Number 3, the International Harvester 1066. If you grew up around Midwest farming in the 1970s, the 1066 feels like one of the faces of that whole era. It shows up in memories the way a good hired hand does. Always there, always working, right when the pace of farming was picking up, and farms were trying to get more done in the same season. The 1066 became popular because it hit a sweet spot. It had the strength to handle heavier work, yet it still felt like a tractor you could live with year after year. And that balance is what matters in real farming, not just horsepower on paper. During the farm boom, the true value was simple. When you turned the key, it needed to fire up and go to work. No long delays. No excuses, because planting and harvest do not wait. The 1066 earned trust by being the kind of machine you could count on when the schedule was tight and the weather window was short. It pulled, it worked ground, it ran long days, and it did it in a way that made people believe in red power. Even today, many folks remember it by feel. The sound, the vibration, the view over the hood, and the sense that you were sitting on a tractor, built for serious work. It's one of those models where the number alone brings back stories. Coffee shop stories, auction stories, and stories told at the edge of the field. But before we reach number 1, we have to cross paths with a Deere legend that was nearly everywhere in the early 1970s. A tractor many people still call the standard, because number 2 is the Deere you could spot all across the Midwest and recognize in an instant. Number 2, the John Deere 4020. Even though most of these tractors were built before the middle of the 1970s, the 4020 still ruled the countryside during the farm boom years. And the reason was simple. There were so many of them, and they fit the work so well. In the early 1970s, a lot of Midwest farms stepped into those busy seasons with a 4020 already broken in, already familiar, already trusted. It was the tractor you could put to work without thinking twice. And that is a big reason it became the standard. People love the balance. Enough power for a wide range of jobs. Easy to maintain, easy to live with, and flexible enough to move from fieldwork to chores without feeling out of place. In real farm life, that matters more than any single feature. Because the tractor that gets used the most is the one that starts, runs, and stays dependable day after day. Many owners describe the 4020 like a good clock. Not perfect every single day, but rarely giving up. And when it did need attention, It was usually a tractor you could work on and get back in service. That is why it shows up in so many memories. The sound at idle, the steady pull, and the feeling that it was always ready for the next job. When you say 40/20, people don't just picture a machine. They picture a way of farming. Steady, practical, and built around keeping things moving. But if the 40/20 is the standard that shaped the early 1970s, then number one is the tractor that defined peak popularity, right in the heart of the decade. And this is the moment we talk about the name many Midwest farmers still call the king of the farm boom years. Number 1. The John Deere 4430. If you had to pick one tractor that stands for the middle of the 1970s, when the farm boom pushed the pace higher and higher, the 4430 is a natural answer. It arrived right when farms needed more power, more comfort, and a machine that could run long hours without wearing the operator down. In those years, you didn't just work hard. You worked steady, and you worked late. And the 4430 fit that life. It became popular because it matched Midwest row crop needs so well. Strong enough to handle the main jobs, flexible enough to take on different tasks, and dependable enough that families felt confident stepping up when it was time to upgrade. It helped farmers move faster through the season, stay on schedule when weather windows were tight, and feel more in control, even as acres kept growing. The 4430 wasn't about showing off. It was about getting results, and that's why it earned so much respect. Over time, it became more than a tractor. It became a memory. Long harvest days, the sound of the engine across a field at dusk, and the feeling of climbing down after a full day, knowing you made progress. When people say 4430, they're often talking about a chapter of life, not just a piece of equipment. And that is exactly why it deserves the number one spot. Now I want to ask you, in your own memory, which tractor was the true king on your farm? And what job did it do better than anything else? The 1970s weren't only about strong crop prices, bigger acres, and seasons run at full speed. They were also about tractors that became part of the family. Tractors fixed right there in the yard, washed down after harvest, and remembered through a lifetime of hard-won experience. Now it's your turn. Out of these 10 tractors, which one was on your farm? Or which one do you miss the most? Leave a comment and tell us what part of the Midwest you're from. And if you'd like, share a short memory, what season it was, what job you were doing, and how that tractor carried the load. And in the next video, I'll build a list of the most durable tractors to ever serve the Midwest, based on your stories.